The NBA is ripping off the Denver Nuggets. The schedule that the Nuggets have been given this postseason has been anything but easy. And I'm not talking about just the opponents that they've faced. I'm talking about the game time slots that they've been given. Amy Sutherland here for Nuggets Digest, ready to chat about this. But first, please hit the subscribe button. Almost 98% of you are watching these videos without being subscribed. Every subscription truly matters to us as we try to make this community here at Nuggets Digest. So please hit the subscribe button. It matters to us. Let's chat about this, the game schedules. First, I want to show you a quote from Charles Barkley. This is what Chuck had to say. He said, "I thought what the NBA did to the Nuggets was unfair, making them play late Friday night, then an early afternoon." The Nuggets played the latest possible game that they could on Friday night. And their game was even delayed because the previous playoff game had gone later than it was supposed to. So we started the game on Friday later than the latest time slot. And then on Sunday, we came back and they had the earliest time slot that they could possibly have on Sunday afternoon. That's less than 48 hours of rest. That's less than 2 days of rest for these guys. If the NBA wants the quality product that they're selling us, they need to give the guys rest. Like Charles Barkley said, it's unfair, I think, what the NBA did to the Denver Nuggets. He went on to say that OKC has more depth. So true. And depth is how you can compete with fatigue. He said, "I don't think it's fair to blame everything on Nikola Jokić, but he has not played well, and I think he's wearing down." Nikola Jokić has been struggling. It's not hard to see that his struggles could potentially be from a lack of rest, from a lack of recovery. They need at least 48 hours in between games to give the best possible product to the viewers. We need them to have more rest. We need them to have their legs underneath them so they can actually run up and down the court. The first quarter of Game 4 was so horrible to watch. I think both teams combined only made 2 3-pointers. And guess how you make 3-pointers? It all comes from your legs. Their legs were not underneath them. They were all clearly tired. But OKC has more depth. And like I said, depth is a way to combat fatigue. That's what the OKC Thunder did. That's how they beat the Denver Nuggets. They out-energized them in Game 4 because they had more depth. Now, this is my opinion. This is Charles Barkley's opinion. But Christian Braun and Nikola Jokić had other things to say. This is what Christian Braun had to say when asked about this. He said, "It doesn't matter. We've got enough energy. We work hard enough to put ourselves in a good spot. We just didn't make enough plays." Well, CB, if you had enough energy, where were all of your shots? Why were they not falling? Why were you not able to have the right mindset and the right capacity to hustle every play? Could be because you didn't have enough rest. This is what Nikola Jokić had to say. He said, when asked about this, he said, "Not much, to be honest." What impact not having rest had on the game? He said, "Not much, to be honest. When I play, I don't really think about that. So not a lot." They're professionals. They're professional athletes. They are in shape. But as a viewer, I can promise you that I watched them not have the same energy that they have when they have rest. Their legs looked tired. It was like a slog in the first quarter, especially for both teams. And the second quarter and the third quarter and the fourth quarter is really when depth comes in to matter. And that's how the Thunder won. They out-fatigued us. They out-energized us, the Denver Nuggets, as the Denver Nuggets lost the energy that they had. They lost the reserve energy that they had too. If the NBA wants us to watch, they need to help the guys play at their elite level as much as they can. And a way that they can do that is to be able to give them sufficient rest, to give them adequate rest for the guys to perform in the way that they can. Let's talk a little bit about the bench players. Russell Westbrook, fun fact, is leading all bench scorers in the playoffs. So I can't complain too much about bench players and not having enough energy because we have the ultimate energizer bunny, Russell Westbrook, coming off the bench. And he has been amazing for the Denver Nuggets. But that's one player. The Thunder have at least 3 or 4 guys that can come off the bench and can be elite. The Denver Nuggets right now have almost resorted to a 6 or 7 man rotation, whereas the Oklahoma City Thunder are playing a 7, 8, or 9 man rotation. When it comes down to lack of rest, who do you think is going to win? The team that has more playable players. The team that has more players to even go out there and run up and down the court effectively. Even though Russ is leading all bench scorers in the playoffs, we're lacking a little bit more from the bench. And I think that a way that we could fix this is to give the Nuggets at least 48 hours of rest. At least 48 hours of rest. All that being said, lack of rest, bad scheduling. Let me tell you, guys, the Denver Nuggets, like CT Fazio said, we are still 2-2. In a series against one of the best teams in this modern era. We're 2-2 with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Who would have thought, after all of the stuff that's happened this season, after all of the Denver Nuggets struggles, we're still 2-2 with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Yeah, it would have been really nice to go up 3-1. I think we would have 100% had the series if we went up 3-1. But they could still do it. They have at least 48 hours of rest. They're traveling to Oklahoma City, but they've had sufficient rest. They've had 48 hours. So as the next game approaches, whose bench will out-energize the other bench? Whose bench will come in and out-energize the other bench? Does this mean David Adelman needs to play more players off the bench to get more energy out there, to get more effort out there? I think so. I think we need more guys out there to just run, to just defend. Let me know your thoughts. I have been flabbergasted by this schedule that the Nuggets have played. Their lack of rest is noticeable. It's not only noticeable, it is the most notable thing that I'm seeing as I'm watching the Denver Nuggets is their lack of rest and their lack of energy. Let me know what you're mostly noticing. Drop it in the comments, and please, once again, subscribe to our channel. It helps us so much, and I love to see every subscription come through. And until next time, go Nugs.